So we'll go ahead and get started, and we're going to start off with some outreach and updates, and then we'll go on to some more information about some of our monitoring updates, and Jess will pop in a little bit later on the meeting and go over that. So our agenda is pretty short, but there's lots of good information that we're going to be sharing this afternoon. So let me go ahead and stop sharing for the moment. So just wanted to welcome everyone. My name is Zong Song, and I'm with the Valley Air District. I think I know everyone pretty much in this meeting. Just in case we don't know, I think everyone knows everyone here, right? Looks like everyone seems to be familiar faces. So with outreach, I'm going to go ahead and start out with our last action items that we had and share that on the screen as well. It was the last meeting that we had was.
Song, I apologize. Are we going to do the interpreting?
Oh, thank you for the reminder. Yes, we are.
Oh.
Let me go ahead and put Emilia in the Spanish. Let me know if you can record, Monty. Let me give you permission. Perfect, thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me share my screen again. So we've been following this action item tracker that we created for the outreach subcommittee here. And so these are some of the past action items that we have. And so the last meeting that we had on May 31st, a couple of them were just 3 of them we had from during that meeting. One was just to follow with Lilia with some of the flyers. The second item was to connect with Genevieve. She had a good idea in terms of connecting with the academics and using that route and connecting with them with some of the surveys and outreach that we do that way. And then the last one was the development of the fireworks flyer, which is actually now done, and we shared it out already. So just wanted to share that from the last meeting. Did anyone have any questions? Ivanka, did you have anything?
Hello. No, I don't have any questions. I know I wasn't able to join the last one, so thank you.
No worries. Okay, just wanted to make sure that if you had anything you wanted to ask, yeah, that you are more than welcome to just raise your hand. And so in terms of what we're doing now, then we've got lots of ideas going on, floating around. And one, we wanted to update everyone that we did meet up with the Fresno trustees, and we had 2 good meetings with them. And we're continuing that discussion. We had lots of talks in terms of the school bus, as well as school air filtration. And Heather, I see you smiling at Ivanka's cat in the background. And so, sorry, Heather, you're distracted.
That predictable. Oh my gosh.
It had to be that. So, but I did want to share that those conversations are ongoing, and we've had even a follow-up discussion, more in-depth follow-up discussion, just between our staff and Fresno Unified in terms of their needs, in terms of what we can do from the next steps. So I wanted to share that with the team here. And then also wanted to share that we are doing some outreach in terms of Peach Jar. This is our first time sending out a flyer for Peach Jar, and we are sending out a flyer in terms of wildfire. So we sent that out. It went. We're doing 2 of them, one in English and Hmong, and then the other one in English and Spanish. And so hopefully we'll get some feedback on that.
Some clarity there. It's technically not our first messaging to the schools through Peach Jar. We just just for some clarity, we have leaned on the schools and we'll do that as often as we possibly can. This time we leaned on just the fact that any agency can access Peach Jar and kind of hone in on messaging. And we were able to do that.
True. Thank you, Heather. Yes. So yeah, we did reach out previously, and Fresno Unified was great in terms of helping us that time and sending out the information directly through them. So this time was our first time just doing it with us, and so this has been a learning experience, and which is good. And so hopefully we'll be able to utilize it. And this time the flyers went directly to just schools in the AB 617 Fresno area. So giving that a try. The next one is we're having a back to school outreach, so we're planning. So this is going to be a couple of kind of like a three-pronged approach. We're planning to distribute towards maybe when school is back in school, so maybe mid or late, probably late August, when parents are back and dropping off kids. Probably in the afternoon, we're going to go and visit some of the schools and try to connect with some of the parents. So we're thinking about handing out flyers, AB 617 flyers, as well as no idling flyers. If there's any other flyers that the committee thinks that we should also hand out, please let us know. We'd be open to that, or any different kinds of flyers. Something that we haven't thought about. Please let us know, and we can definitely brainstorm and see what else we could distribute. And then the other thing is that, while we're out and about to these schools, if there's any CSE members that want to join us, we're thinking about maybe 1 or 2 member teams, going out to some of these schools, let us know. And, we welcome anyone on the CSE to come out with us too, to talk to parents that are out there. And then the other thing is we're also looking for ideas, because, along with these flyers, we'd also like to see if maybe sometimes, like we have pens and we have, T-shirts, if there are any other trinkets or, any other cool gadgets that you think that might be engaging, like a fan or anything like that, we'd be happy to share that. And Heather is showing the fan. Go ahead, Heather.
I have examples. Thank you for that opportunity. It's branded tchotchke, like it's a fan. So we've talked at length as to our plan to connect with the schools, and while we realize the dangerous, crazy idling probably is happening in the afternoons at pickup, it's going to be blistering hot. So we'll probably go in the morning, where it's a little bit more of a well-oiled machine, kind of. I know some schools are very good at ingress and getting folks through. Maybe some aren't, but just the mass of folks that come through, hopefully hand something to every individual that maybe is a little free item, either a fan, or if you have a smartphone, we were looking at these little, you plug them into the bottom of your smartphone. It has either adaptation for Android or iPhone, and it uses your phone juice to make a little fan. But some kind of, everybody likes something free, right? Hand goes out when there's something free. Well, attached to that free thing will be really good information about idling and air quality and AB 617, et cetera. So these were kind of what we were thinking. If you like that idea.
Yeah. So, I mean, if there's other ideas too, please let us know. Oh, Genevieve's joining us.
Those are cool swag to hand out. I think the kids will appreciate that. The one thing on the education piece is that my sons, both asthmatics, are always like, well, we were wearing masks before COVID, right? So with the air quality, I don't know if that's going to be part of the flyer. Of course, the school already has their protocol for COVID and masks, but it really was something that as a mother of asthmatics, we were always making sure they were wearing their PM masks pre-COVID and because wildfires were happening before COVID. So I don't know if that's a piece of the education that will be included.
Yeah, we can include that. Heck yeah. We spend a lot of time talking about mask safety and the misnomer that those basic ones will protect you from PM. Yes. Okay, got it.
And I know that with our school, that we've worked with the Kepler school for a little bit already, but some of the other schools in the district still seem, once a lot of parents really did rely on the flag system that went away. And so while that may not be directly related for the parents that pick up or the outreach with the families, I am still concerned with the school's the faculty, the running of the school, the administrators' education with PE specifically.
Got it.
That's still, I can't believe how many kids still
Go out.
allowed out on fire days. And so that's still, but it's not, it may not be applying to directly what we're talking about right now, if we're talking about the outreach to families,
Right.
education of the students, but there still needs to have that conversation with these school leaders. And
Yes, absolutely. And we are doing that as well. So our goal is to sit down with every single school administrative staff too. Whoever we can get, principal, admin, or both, or all of the above. But yes, so twofold, we're going to do sit downs with the administrative staff, hopeful interfacing with the public out at the school sites. In addition, hopefully we're going to produce a mailer that we're also going to send out, right? That's going to just show up in inboxes. There'll be a postcard that has the information like staring at you, not an envelope that has to be opened, and blanket some full color messaging to schools as well. And that'll wrap in CGYM, air quality, urban greening, tree opportunities, all the things.
and it really is just like Jessica had to, she and I were having our mommy moments with children. And that's really what sparked it. It was just like, I can't believe they're letting them out on these days. And unless students had, it was so bad at my school that unless the students had a doctor's
Medical note, they made them go out.
they ignored
Yeah.
our bad air quality. Like, it's bad air quality for everybody. Nobody needs a damn doctor's note for that. So, you know, I really appreciated her educating our school. And it wasn't at that point just coming from a parent,
Right.
an asthmatic child, it was coming from a health agency. So that's just one school though, right?
Right.
Like, unfortunately, they all need to be educated in that route. So.
Yep. Agreed.
Thank you, Ivanka. Heather touched upon the postcard a little bit already, but that's
Oh, I
also
jumped ahead. Sorry.
no, that's all right, Heather. But yeah, so that's something else we are also working on, is the postcard that we would send to directly to the schools, and as another outreach effort to connect with them, to, you know, as Heather mentioned, to see if we can come out and you know, not only educate the staff, but also, you know, maybe the athletic director, you know, whoever is in charge of, you know, some of the air quality at the schools, then also the principal about it.
To that point, Zong, actually, I can tell Ivanka a little side story. I'm very encouraged. I got a call from the athletic director at Fresno Unified this week, right? School's not in session yet, and they've been seeing the spikes. And you probably saw our social media posts. We've had some weirdness with the Fresno Monitor, and he called. He's like, hey, it went up. I looked again, and I was like, all right, you're dialed in, and it's summertime. This is encouraging. So a little food for thought in our progress, or perceived progress, I think.
And we're still also sending out emails to schools during,
Yes.
you know, even though it's during the summer, we've been sending out emails, just quick reminders to the staff that, hey, we are still here, we are available. If you have any questions, you know, reach out to us. So that's something that we continue to work on. But as everyone knows, emails kind of sometimes get stuck in spam or whatever. So it's just you know, trying to grab, you know, the teachers or principals, the contact that we have, you know, so that they can, you know, get our message. So we are always looking for information. You know, if you guys have any contacts for our schools, you know, that we may not have, then please let us know. And then I'd like to also ask, you know, especially Ivanka, like, do you think reaching out to like parent organizations or PTCs or PTAs, you know, would that be a good, I know that that's something that we've been trying to do, but you know, we've had more luck, you know, maybe doing coffee hours with parents or doing that way, but PTAs and that connecting with them has been a little bit more of a struggle, it feels like. So
It seems like a lot of the coffee hours has become the new space. And so if joining those, if joining that works, then I would definitely say stick with that. Or if there's the open house back to school nights, like you were saying, if it's aligned with having the presentation or having tabling at those type of events could be helpful as well. Yeah, sometimes the PTA meetings are in the afternoons, or the parents involved in those are so much smaller, it may not be reaching enough folks. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that feedback. Okay. Yes, and I know that back to school nights are something in our radar, and that's part of the plan is to go out to the schools and do back to school boothing if when possible.
One other idea
Mhm.
is, I don't know who is within the district's charge nurse, like not the nurses at the individual schools, but whoever all those nurses actually are directed by with that at the district level. If there is a way to create a protocol from the top down instead of so much energy going into each individual school, because I know that would take a lot of capacity to try to hit every school versus if you're actually working with whoever leads the health department or I'm saying charge nurse, the director of the health for the district, if it's worth trying to make an inroad with that person to create some type of protocol that they can roll out more, or at least even find out. At this point, I don't even know what the standard protocol is for the district or when the last time they've actually looked at upgrading it, right? And maybe from one official to the top of that side would be, and a little bit more productive on educating administration if they're like, oh, we have to follow this. It's not just the air district coming to us individually.
Good idea. Thank you so much. Definitely, I know that, sometimes when we can, we get a hold of the school nurses, but at the district level, that's kind of been, sometimes they change over so often. So we'll definitely double check on that and see, what we have.
Man, excuse me, got a tickle. I'm encouraged, Ivanka, because so we've had these meetings recently with Fresno Unified, and so we've at least aligned with the COO. I forget titles, but I feel like we've got a working relationship now, far better than maybe even where it was 2 years ago when we first met with them. And I easily think we can, in our next meeting, lean in and go, hey, here's another idea we want to float, blah, blah, blah. Besides giving you all this money, can you connect us to the right person to convey X, Y, and Z? So yeah, we'll continue leaning in on that front.
Oh, sorry, I had a quick thought on that. Like that reminded me of Ivanka, when I was on the East Coast, we had something with lightning warnings that was like that. And this is so long ago, it came with a fax, but it was great because this fax came in, said, hey, lightning's so close, kids come inside, and it just happened. And if there's any complaints from a teacher, administrator, like, no, the fax came from on high. Like, we're not making the decision. Like, the decision's been made. And so really helped with that process, got the judgment call out of the hands of the individual site.
Thank you so much. Okay. Well, those are some great ideas, and definitely we've got them jotted down, and we'll continue to look for them, look for opportunities to get out to the schools and do some outreach, and not just Fresno Unified, but also like Orange Center and West Fresno. I know we think about Fresno Unified a lot, but there's a couple handful of schools that are also on the outlying areas that we want to still keep tabs on. And to your point, Ivanka, I do have a contact for Orange Center, and they've been, pretty. The nurse over there has been always really good, and she likes to communicate with me in email. Unfortunately, it changed over during the pandemic, so it's just rebuilding all of that. And so during the pandemic, I think that's where it's been a little bit tricky in terms of reconnecting, but it's great that the kids are back in school, so now we can get out there and visit the schools and really connect with the parents and students again, and with the staff. So was there any other questions or comments or any other suggestions in some of the outreach ideas and strategies that we are planning for the next month? If not, then Jess came right on time, and I will hand it off to Jess.
I had Heather updating me because obviously you are all really busy and so are we. So I wanted to make sure I managed my time well. But thank you, Zong, and thanks for, I know it's a small group, but we're recording, and I do actually plan to follow up with a few key folks in addition to you all about kind of some of the path forward and plan next steps for air monitoring presentations. I think we learned a lot from our last meeting, just in terms of how we think we can best prepare and approach presenting air monitoring data, especially now that we've had a full network deployed for quite some time now. And it was clear to us last month that there were so many questions that we could easily answer if we knew what the questions were ahead of time. And I thought that some of the points that you all made, Genevieve in particular, and definitely Kimberly and a few other folks, really we took to heart as let's better come up with a way to collaborate on how we present some of the air monitoring data, especially when it comes to big presentations in front of the whole CSC. And I think we found a lot of value in that with some of our recent collaborations with co-hosts. And so we want to kind of push that forward. And so we have sort of a thought that we wanted to first bring to this committee, given the subcommittee's role. But of course, like I said, we'll follow up with the larger group and see what everyone else thinks. But we had a plan to, of course, we have agenda setting meetings, right, where folks give us ideas on what they want to hear at the next meeting. And oftentimes, when we want to be responsive, and if someone at the meeting says, hey, next month, let's talk about air monitoring, even though we're constantly doing analysis, that doesn't quite give us the lead time we think we want in order to collaborate with you all and then translate and get the presentation in front of folks. So we had the thought, and we've actually worked with CARB on this because we want to collaborate closely with CARB's analysis team on this as well, is just regularly planning, whether the CSC wants it in a meeting or not, regularly working on an air monitoring update once a quarter that we always have going, and that we have regular check-ins with this standing subcommittee and others that might be interested in reviewing the presentation, that we would both quickly jump into this group, maybe pre-present to this team, see what questions arise, share with other folks that are interested. I know, again, Kimberly, especially in her role as CCAC, share, get the feedback. That way we come to the full meeting with all of the data, all of the information, and also just present it in a way from your perspective that makes more sense to committee members. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you, let you know, like I said earlier, that CARB certainly has expertise too, and they're really helpful. I know even OWIHA, Lily Wu, who's been really interactive with our team on all of our different CSCs. We also want to kind of loop her in because there were lots of great questions about health and kind of like, what does this data actually mean? And I think the more we can schedule ahead of time, just a regular update, the more we can collaborate and be prepared for those presentations.
I like the idea, since that is something that we're constantly, or the district is constantly collecting the data on. It, to me, makes sense. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Ivanka.
I agree as well.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And what we'll do is, just like we do with this subcommittee anyway, we'll put on the agenda when there is that, like, you know, that review period and sort of that pre-look time frame, just to kind of give you what we're thinking in terms of a schedule. As we're thinking, it'll be like the second meeting of every quarter. So for example, in the fourth quarter, it'll be November and then February and so on from there. And so we'll share that. And then what we'll do is, during just regular agenda setting meetings, also share that that's and just maybe remind folks, hey, you know, it's almost November. If you all want to talk about something different, that's okay, but we will, no matter what, have prepared for you a presentation, whether you want it on the agenda to present or not. We will have it prepared and have, you know, collaborated with folks on it. So I appreciate that support. And with that, just to follow up and let you all know, is we do plan, I'm going to call Kim and let her know, since she was, I think, a good driving force for that. And certainly she and whomever else can certainly be one of the folks that give us, you know, good feedback on the process, and then of course the presentation in the future. And that's actually all I had. So
Thanks, Jess. Did anyone have any questions?
Yeah, so in the beginning, when you started talking about meeting with the school districts regarding outreach for the education piece, but I didn't get a chance. I was on vacation when we had the meeting for the school districts and air filtration. Um, is that some, is our air district or is our school district still wanting to be a part of that, or?
We had a really good, and we'll give an update, but we have lots of time right here. We're happy to give that brief, that update right now. We had a good meeting. We had several CSC members attend and do a good job. Luckily, I'll just say, how do I put this? I really appreciate the fact that community members pushed us to invite trustees, because it allowed us to talk more closely with some staff members that have been, it's been difficult to speak with. So it actually was a really good meeting in the sense that folks were really interested in being upfront, both about like their interest, but also their hesitation that I think that they've been seeing over the past several, let's say, year. So kind of two paths forward. Really, there were two separate discussions. One was on air filtration and one was on buses. From my understanding, and we had literally the next day, we met with the staff again. We actually met with board member trustee Islas the second day because she couldn't make the first day, which I found actually even to be more an engaging meeting. For air filtration, they are looking now into working with us on the standalone portable unit, so it's a much faster deployment. From our understanding, two things have sort of delayed. One is that they were doing this really, at least the feedback we kept getting every time we checked in, was they were doing this really robust assessment of the schools and the HVAC systems and all these other things, which it sounds like was getting not only complicated, but then they ended up changing facilities directors and have a brand new person. And so then that person sort of like started over in that process, and it was just sort of becoming cumbersome. And frankly, we weren't getting any of the answers that you all were asking and that we needed in order to definitively think we could move on. And so this kind of new reinvigorated discussion really allowed them to see that portable standalone units are easily deployable and easy for us, easy in the sense that like it's just a purchase that doesn't matter what your HVAC system is. If you can put one of these kind of units in the classroom, plug them in, and they're, we know the HEPA rating, there's no kind of complicated layer beyond that. They seemed much more comfortable. As far as the commitment, we got the commitment that they're going to go and give us an exact number and really like push them. We've asked them to get that within like the next week. So we have an answer by the next Fresno meeting. So I'm saying this all with a little bit of trepidation because a few of us have a lot of deja vu because we got the same answer about a year and a half ago. But we feel really confident in the fact that they're definitely much more responsive, kind of the new folks that are in charge.
Okay, cool.
And then just maybe, I'll say it since it was related and it was in that same meeting, same thing with school buses. They're definitely much more responsive and definitely feel like the renewed interest in the CSC, not renewed, but the push from the CSC and the support from the CSC to fund infrastructure, if that's what kind of the holdback was or the barrier was, allowed them to feel much better about the investment as well. So again, they seem to be much more responsive this time. And again, similarly, they have a new transportation director too. So feels like it's a combination of COVID and like new personnel, but also certainly I think having the trustees there was very, very helpful.
Cool. Well, let's hope.
Trust me, we're like hammering. We had lots of emails of like, hey, as you said yesterday, please.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much. I think we went through our agenda pretty quick, but I did want to just go back real quick. So in terms of the outreach that we're planning in August, in terms of the flyers, let us know, right now we're planning on the AB 617 flyer as well as the No Island flyers. Were there any other flyers you guys think we should definitely keep in mind when we're out there? please go ahead, raise your hand, or, drop it in the chat. Like I said, we can always, if you have some ideas too, we can always try to create something as well. Go ahead, Jess.
Sorry if you already talked about this, do we have flyers for wildfires or like?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that was my
So-
other.
Okay. Yeah, no, definitely for sure. We can we can hand those out too when we're out at schools.
Yeah, we have some really nice the wildfire infographic on cards in all the languages we need. So
Yes.
I just feel, unfortunately, like wildfires, I mean, yes, of course, we're seeing smoke right now, and there's obviously impacts for several folks that live in rural mountain areas. But lately, man, it's been like August, September that these fires are starting. And so it is like school time exactly.
yeah.
And I know I share the same sort of, I remember when Ivanka, gosh, was it last fire season? You called and talked to me and.
Oh, the mommy moment. She told us.
Moments.
I did. I told everyone because I was having the
No,
same.
Ivanka told us today.
Oh, did she? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Because I had the same thing. Like, and I was just, I'm not even kidding. Ivanka, I had this like thought the other day when I saw the smoke in the air of like that, like, I don't know, my body just felt like, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to start talking to Miss Senya again about like closing the windows, and like I was gearing myself up for that conversation with the school director. And anyway, yeah.
Bingo.
The layer of anxiety that being a mom adds to an already anxious person, man, I swear.
Okay, sounds good. So we've definitely got the wildfire, and we have it in Hmong, Spanish, and English. So we have plenty of those to hand out. So and if anyone that are CSE members, or our EJ folks that would like some, just let us know. We can definitely get those out to you as well. And then the other one that we had talked a little bit earlier about was the swag items. So let us know. We're thinking about the fans that Heather was sharing, but if there are any other swag items that you think might be kind of interesting or engaging, that will help us kind of get to the kids as well as the parents, and get their attention, please let us know. I think that was it. Did I miss anything, Heather?
I don't think you did. I don't think you did. I think we're doing pretty good. We did move through it very fast. I'm excited. We'll figure out what handouts we can use, and that'll be fun.
One thing
And, oh, go ahead.
that I do know is the magnets, the refrigerator magnets, even if the refrigerator magnets were to give the QR code or the website to link to the RAN. So we sent, I mean, since we don't have the flags anymore, can you tell I really enjoyed and really appreciate
The flags.
But something like that might be a thing that's in the home for parents. And I don't know, like, cost of those the magnets, but that might be another thing that is useful for the parents to just be like, now, how do I get this information?
Ah,
Yeah.
Do you think like a magnet with like the different levels, or do you think just?
No, I think she meant like a magnet with a QR code that takes them right to our air quality system,
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
okay. With the
Mhm.
with the
Website
kind of like the
or
app.
both.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Okay.
That's all I got on the top of my head right now.
No,
son
these-
loved remember this was when we were still meeting in person, and you guys had brought the t-shirts, and I know that's a bigger expense, but he still wears his t-shirt. Like,
Yay! Does he
Aw.
need
it's
a
the
new
one that
size?
has the lungs on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it white or blue?
It was a white one. Yeah.
Okay.
And so he will wear that, like, do you see the shirt I'm wearing on a bad air day to the PE teacher? He's my baby advocate, yes. But he will wear that t-shirt like, do you see this?
I gotta send you a new
Going
one. We got the
outside.
neon one now, Ivanka. What size is he? I'll get you a new one.
So I don't know what the budget is for swag, but that was, I think, another way to support
Got it.
the system of letting parents know about how to check.
Ooh, to that point, thanks for saying that, because actually you kind of solidified maybe when we do our outreach at the schools, we'll all wear lungs. We'll get you guys lungs too if you join us. So we'll pass lung shirts to everyone. Well, that'll be our uniform out at the schools.
That
Cool.
was a really good shirt.
I love it.
That sounds good. T-shirts for everyone. That sounds good.
Yay, lungs.
Okay, well, I think we're done a little bit early. So unless there's any other questions, then I think we'll let everyone out and have a good rest of your afternoon. And
You get 22 minutes back.
yes,
Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
thank you, everyone.
Hi, everyone. I was gonna
Hey,
say-
Ivanka, before you leave, what is your kitty's name?
Kanyel.
Kanyel. That's a cute kitty. Sorry. So in the meeting
Oh,
just
oh,
earlier,